Get ready. We're reviewing a movie, boy. So right when we just kind of jump right into the meat of the movie, which is really just the previews. I think Logan. Sorry, we're reviewing Logan. It's in the title. You should know that. But we're reviewing the movie Logan. It's a big hit, but the previews are really where all the money went into this movie because I think they had about eight, and it was easily the most enjoyable part of the movie. But until you get to the next part, which is a fake out. They do a fake out preview with my favorite superhero, Deadpool. You know, just top notch quality and humor. It's Deadpool and some guys getting mugged. He runs into a la Superman into a phone booth to change it. It's just taken too long, and it's like right away you're just thinking to yourself, all right, well, how long until the guy that's getting mugged dies? And 30 seconds later, he dies, and fucking Deadpool's still changing. They still think that that's funny. So then Logan actually starts, and I gotta say, this movie it had a lot of hype. It was, I kept hearing how this redefined the superhero genre, and how it was just so real and gritty. I'll give it that this movie's got some grit. True grit, maybe not, but it's got some grit. You kind of like get the feeling instantly, and they never really directly say this throughout the whole movie. But Logan is dying. If you want to see a movie where Hugh Jackman is just drinking, coughing, and brooding, this is your movie because it's like half of it. Like right off the bat, Logan's just passed out drunk in a limo, and he works as a limo driver now, which is just, good use of his talents as a mute. Now drives fucking girls around. They flash him. He's like, yeah. I guess the plot tries to get started, and Logan meets up with he's at a funeral, and this lady comes up and starts harassing them about, you should help me. And you know that right away as soon as you see her. You're like, well, Logan's gonna help her at some point. I just don't know how long. And sure enough, 20 minutes later, he's like, I'll help you. She dies, so it doesn't matter. But there's this girl, once again, right? The girl doesn't say anything. It's like Logan just tells this lady, like, no, I'm not gonna help you. This little girl's looking back at Logan, and just like, okay, so that's a main character. So then this fucking Narcos guy, not the cool one, not Oberyn Martell, the greaseball piece of shit. He comes up to Logan. He's like, "Hey, some lady talked to you, right?" And Logan's like, "Nah, I've never met a lady. I've never talked to a lady." And this guy's like, "Okay, well, this lady, Gabriella, she's gonna come to you. I want you to come to me when that happens. He's my god. She's got something that I want." So you just kind of gotta assume this is a bad guy. And really, this is when it gets to the real good part of the plot to me. Is you get introduced to Stephen Merchant from the Ricky Gervais show, and he's this albino piece of shit that just kind of complains. Charles Xavier is there too, and god damn it if he's not the best part of this whole fucking movie. Like, the movie should have just been about, it should have been called Charles, and Logan should have died halfway through the movie instead. I need to mention spoilers. I'm gonna spoil this whole movie, so if you don't want that to happen, spoilers. And you're really excited to see Charles at this point because you've just been dealing with Logan for about 20 minutes, and like I said, he's just doing what he does best throughout the movie, just coughing, acting sick, brooding, and drinking his ass off. First meet Charles, he's just talking out of his ass. I mean, he's talking about Taco Bell and some chalupa deal that you can get, and I really wish the movie had kind of explored that more. Here's the most dangerous mind in the world, and it's not stable. So he has these seizures where just like time itself is just stopping, and of course Logan's like fucking just freaking out and shit. Injects Charles with this serum, and we get Charles now. He's acting like real Charles. There's some banter between him and Logan. He tells Logan to fuck off. This movie's rated R. It definitely lets you know that it's rated R very, very quickly. I'm pretty sure Logan says fuck like 100 times in the movie. At one point, he's just screaming it over and over again as he's beating a truck. So he accuses Logan. He's like, "You're just waiting for me to die." And Logan just walks out without answering. Typical Logan. One part of the movie that I could never... I don't know where they were going with this, but Stephen Merchant, fucking albino dude, Logan, he's like, "The drugs you're giving us aren't enough. It's not enough." And he's like, "I know it's not enough." But then there's this one part where he's like, "I don't even think you can read anymore, because the pills you gave us is ibuprofen." Ibuprofen, like, ibuprofen. And he can't read. There's just like no indication in the rest of the movie that Logan has deteriorated to the point where he can't read. There's no indication for it. Like, you get the physical part, and you kind of get the fact that he's like slightly mentally degrading, but I just don't know where the fuck this you can't read shit came from. He runs into this lady and this girl again. And I think this is the first point where you get the hint that this girl's a mutant. And sure enough, 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, you find out that she is a mutant. Yeah, so Logan, after getting offered money, and it's like pretty much close enough money where he can get this boat him and Charles could take, because that's what I guess Logan's end goal in this movie is he just wants to settle down with Charles so they can have a happy marriage together and drive around on a boat around the world and just kind of like live the rest of their lives in peace, because they're the only mutants that are left and they just want to be left alone, because all the mutants got hunted down or killed by Charles. More on that later. Logan's like, "I'm gonna help you, lady." And the lady's like, "Good, we gotta go right away." And he's like, I understand completely, but I'm gonna leave you here overnight. That way you can die before I can get over here and actually save you." And she dies. I guess it's Narcos shows up and kills her. Logan just, finds her and it's just, she's dead. And he's like, "Oh shit, that was gonna be some good money." But then he finds the money. He takes it? It doesn't matter. The money's not important. Money's never really that important, guys. Come on. He goes back to Charles, and the little girl's with him. Because the plot demands it. And Charles is like, "Oh my god, this is the one I've been talking to, Logan." Pretty much right away, you're like, okay, when are the guys gonna show up? And the guys immediately show up. But what I fucking love this. Earlier, Marcos, he had indicated that he knew that Charles was there, that he knew that Charles was in Mexico. So these guys show up, and once again, Narcos, being the master of exposition, is like, "Yeah, the most dangerous mind in the world." So he fully understands the threat that Charles has. And it's so funny. These fucking guys show up with, don't get me wrong, they show up with a shitload of trucks and guys and all that, right? But, like, there's no fucking, like, backup plan or anything. Do they have a helicopter? No. Because we only have enough money in this movie for one helicopter, and this is not the scene that we're going to use it in. We're just going to have a bunch of soldiers and trucks, and these fucking Goombas don't bring a helicopter or a tank or fucking anything. They're just like, "Yeah, Charles, he'll be fine. He'll be fine." Yeah, the movie only has budget for one helicopter. Oh! Before I forget, Logan has the adamantium bullet. And he's like, "Hey, this bullet." And then Charles is like, what do you got this bullet for? And Logan's like, don't talk to me, you bald piece of shit. Yeah, at first you just kind of write it off as like, okay, he's contemplating suicide. He's fucking drunk and depressed and coughing and hacking, whatever. But that adamantium bullet takes on a whole different meaning in about 30 minutes. But we'll get to that. Yeah, the guys come in. They go to attempt to capture this girl, and she comes out with this fucking dude's head and just throws it at Narcos. I was kind of hoping that he just like, because I knew that she was gonna come out like, and it was like the guys were gonna be dead. But when they showed up with the head, I was like, if she fucking chucks it at Narcos's head, my life is complete. They didn't do that, but it was still pretty nice. So Logan and this girl start fighting all these dudes, and they're just killing these fucking guys. And Narcos gets knocked out somehow, but Logan doesn't kill him because he's stupid. And they have themselves an escape. So they do this classic fucking maneuver that I've seen in a million movies, where they're like trying to get away from the bad guys, but all the bad guys' vehicles are a little bit quicker. Well, lo and behold, the choo-choo that Charles keeps talking about to the little girl. He keeps saying it's a choo-choo. Well, choo-choo train comes and Deus Ex Machina, fucking they get by the train, like right by it, and then of course one of the bad guys' fucking car hits it and explodes. So Narcos is looking over at Logan as the train's passing, and Logan's like, fuck you, bud, don't you gotta go catch Pablo Escobar or something? And so yeah, for a while now you're not gonna see Narcos. That's pretty good. Yes! Yes! Part 2's coming out soon.